a sellout to the highest level you can really get. Literally sell it out, one of your own, and Draka seems to be at a really, really unfortunate spot right now. There's still hope to be left out there with Schmidt and co. to be lurking, I guess. Hopefully they swoop in some sort of way and protect and save and help us. I don't know if that'll happen. I'm solely basing, my own guesses as to the fact that they will be involved here based on giving them an entire episode and then having them run away from the people we encounter. Feels kind of lackluster if we're not going to have them to connect almost and share and pass on of information in a sort of way. So likely to get that in some way here, hopefully at least. Now, I don't know if that means full escape for her or if that just means connects with them in some way after capture, potentially. But we'll have to end up seeing. I hope all goes over well for her. I hope that there's some sort of plan and this isn't just like a extremely frustrating and uncomfortable episode to have to sit there and watch. But only time will tell, and we'll have to watch to see. I hope you guys enjoy. If you like and subscribe, then may feel free to stick around with the discussion. All the comments is seriously going with episode 18. Yeah, just flip it on her. Should be thankful to us. Yeah, the worst. That they do. The right path for them, yeah. Chewing him out. She seems knowledgeable. Showcase and get in front of us. The production itself brings in the money. Not at all what he was expecting when giving her up here. Yeah, get out of here. We don't need you. Yeah, sure, buddy. The worst. I'd light him on fire. The one I made the map for? Oh, yeah. Oh. Not the hands of the people you need it to be in. Yeah. It could be fun handing it to the church in a time of desperate need. But it's Antoni, so like the hero comes through. Welcome, brother. Go after Antoni first. Get rid of him. Oh, fuck him. Kill Dig's other eye, too. Take them all. No. We got the girl and we got the book. We're good. You didn't go find them? Let's go. Fuck you. No, I'm happy. It led you to what you didn't want. You coming with us? Why do you have the book? Why did they want you? Who is you?
君の手に負えるものじゃないことは確かだ。渡せ。あなたたちのせいで私の叔父が死んだんだけど、もう少し説明があってもいいんじゃない？それはすまない。その本は
Sorry about that, but I need the book.
これで最後の忠告にするぞ。渡せ。手荒な真似はしたくない。この瞬間を逃したら。
Gotta join the squad so we can go beat the leader. I burned this, I'm the only one with any knowledge of what's in it. Yeah. So get rid of it. Yeah, that's the only way to force it. Forces her hand. No. Well, that could be bad, but... Oh. I'm excited to meet the leader. I want to see who it is. Can't wait for it to just be Novak. Like, where the fuck did that come out of, you know? I was assuming Alenta, though. That's who I'm assuming we'll run into. It's crazy, too. You can spend your whole life with someone like that, and then they turn you in like that, and you just immediately flip on them. I'm not saying she's in the wrong, but... No choice but to. I hate the way he gripped his mustache. Yeah, might as well be friends. There we go. Cool. Right, that's exactly what we didn't need before, and you forced it. So you wouldn't kill her? And you'd give her a chance? Do tell. これから見ることになる景色はどれも境界正統派としては苦しいものになる。Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about that. She hasn't believed since a young age. 私は聖書の解釈なんて興味ない。なんと We found the like one. あなたたちも Ah, we'll get along just great. Yeah, yeah. じゃあこの世界は人間のために作られたとも信じてない。もちろん。じゃあ神も信じてないわけだ。Ooh. A little far. Yeah, you push that idea a little far. You might blow their world open here, though. Yeah, I just don't. What do you mean in other words? That's what she said. Yeah, yeah. I love how I phrased that. Hold on, I gotta process this. It's so rare. It's not something that you would come across and see. You don't believe it. So goofy. Right, exactly. I'm just fascinated by it.
私はそれをただ良いと感じてるだけだからだ。
Huh.
論理ではなく感覚だ。解釈までいかない。私が宗教
Look at they're each learning so much from it.
私の運命を定めているが、どこに導くかは知らない。まあ簡単に言うと、何かを理解しようとする人の知性とやらを信用してない。
Isn't that kind of what we're doing, though?
じゃあ私はその意見には乗れない。だって人間は論理や知性を使って成長する。
Right, right.
それを捨てたら
That's
社会はどうやって発展するの？
exactly.
成長しよう発展しようという考えがそもそも不自然なのだよ。必要な時に必要な分だけその場で作る。十分ではない。もともと死ぬ定めだった命が不自然な力で救われる必要があるか？人の命が
I love how committed he is to it. Like, from the outside, it feels so off.
神の奴隷だ。
思い上がった人間よりマシだ。
あっそ、あなたが正しいとは全く思わない。
そのままお返しさせていただく。
But yet, we can sit here and have a conversation.
どうやらこれ以上の対話は不要だ。どうだろう。こういう時は一つ。 表なら私、裏なら君が正しい。おや、表。どうやらこの場は私が正しい。
Till next time.
だから私その提案に乗ってないんだけど、そもそも私はこんな偶然に何も決めさせない。
ま、いずれ君もわかるさ。朝日を浴びてる。こうすることで感じ取る。
何を？
神よ。
He recharges them.
このためにわざわざ降りたの？
このためにわざわざ生まれてきた。君はこの荘厳な諸行を前に何も感じないのか？
感じますよ。
I feel fucking confused. Oh, yeah. The
朝
opposites.
日は全てを勝手に照らす。隠れたくても見たくない日も勝手にやってくる。しかも決まって律儀に毎日登る。誰も逃げられない。私の大嫌いな運命って言葉を思い出す。朝日は最悪。その良さは死んでもわからない。
そうか。では死ね。
は？だから死んでもわからないって。
諦めるな。何事もやってみなければわからんぞ。
気が済んだらそろそろ教えてもらえますか？あの本で言っ
Still haven't gotten to it.
今回の任務内容を話してもいいのでは？
Oh, we don't even know.
ああ、そうだな。君らは知っているかね。これから先、おそらく世界を揺るがす3つの発明。1つ、火薬。2つ、羅針盤。そして3つ目。これが今回の要。活版印刷。従来の本の複製方法は手書きの写本か1ページずつ木を彫る木版印刷だ。しかし活版印刷は違う。手順は簡単。
Oh, this is what you mean.
型を作り、それを並べて活版を作る。そこにインクを塗り、あとは活版を紙に押し付ける。それだけで。
驚くほど短時間で均一な。
There you go. And you get your answer.
なんて発想。
Money.
ではあなたたちの目的は？
ああ、我々の目的はあの本を出版することだ。これが組織長直々に
It looks like we're on the same team.
必要とされる今回の任務だ。
You burned our only hope.
君にはしっかり本の
Yeah, so now we need you.
困るというあの本の内容が広く知れ渡ることが境界正道派の価値観に打撃を与えると信じてるからだ。
Ideally, yeah.
絶対が揺らぐと。
そんな簡単にいくでしょうか？
さあな。しかしかけ
You have to fucking gotta give it a shot.
本来我々が行うのは解放活動のはず。
Mm-hmm.
これは管轄外の仕事では。
It feels that
それ
way.
にはこう返そう。これは最も重要な解放活動と
But it's
つまり
just a different way.
情報を解放するのだ。
There we go.
今、我々の世界では情報は監禁されている。権威による本の検閲から始まり、共同体での相互監視、果ては自ら恐れ忖度し、口をつぐんでいる。情報の自由度が社会の自由度につながる。
Mm-hmm.
大昔、
Beautiful ideas, brother.
思想の違うプラトンとアリストテレスが同居していた。そういう開かれた場で多様な意見が集まってこそ理性は磨かれる。と、組織
And that's where we come in from the start of the arc of the polar opposites, and each being firm believers of where they are likely leads you to that middle ground that needs to be met.
そして出版した本は教会改革派に流通させる構えだ。
あの改革派に。
ああ、この前まで正統派と大きな戦争をしてた改革派にだ。
聖書を重視してる彼らが地動説を受け入れるの。
そこは組織長も対策を考えてある。それに理性と信仰を分ける者も多い。彼らも一枚岩じゃないからな。
It'd be really funny if he just turned out to be his own leader. He just keeps referring to it as someone else.
おお、これはわざわざお出迎え感謝します。
Welcome back, Yolanta.
紹介しよう。こちらが我々異端解放戦線の
Cool.
組織長、ヨレンタさんだ。
A clash between two widely different beliefs makes up the bulk of what we get throughout this episode, which is absolutely fascinating to be able to get. The big takeaway and thing that really comes out of this episode for me is just progression, evolution. Even we begin the series displaying the church in a type of way, and it has continued throughout, but peeking more holes into the inner workings of it, the members of it, outside of just this outside noise that we're almost hearing, and actually being able to, you know, pull the curtains open a little bit and peek in and actually be like, this is bad. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? And like head scratching moments and things directly out of them that you see it from the background, right? Very much removed, very much in the future here too. The decisions and the views that they're having that are going to lead to the ultimate, you know, downfall of themselves. You can see those cracks kind of within. So continuously watching and seeing that evolve throughout, and the characters on the outside becoming more widely aware to it, more the general public becoming aware to it, and more people wanting to lead this sort of revolution against it, leads us to where exactly we are now, leads us to a conversation that we can widely be on different ends of the spectrum in what our beliefs are, of proposing new ideas and new beliefs that nobody else is even aware of. Schmidt was just like, you can just say you don't believe in God, like you can just do that, like that's a thing. Like completely caught off by it, right? But being civilized enough to willingly sit down and listen. Now this is all dependent on the circumstance and in the specific members within, right? You can't sit down and have this conversation with a member of the church or somebody who is a wide believer. But I would make the strong guess that if you just said this to these types of people who did have a belief in God but might have been slightly put off by other things before, say at the beginning of the series, they still would view you completely insane for your viewpoint. But instead we're able to actually sit down and have these civilized talks about it, which make things all the more fascinating. You know, it's a beautiful freedom of speech that they are given, which is a big thing that is brought up through Schmidt through the end of the episode here, which I think is really cool. And I love that we're able to get into that and openly have these sort of discussions. It's something that, you know, you hope nowadays you can sit down and have a talk with somebody. It's hard sometimes. It really is. There a lot of times, especially when you get I guess we're going to switch it more onto the political sort of end nowadays and in present time. It's difficult to have open discussions with people about your viewpoints without you trying to preach one thing or somebody else trying to preach something to you and actually try and persuade you to change your mind a little bit. It's very difficult to have those open discussions without you actually having like an ulterior motive or just having a strong belief that you consistently will stand by and not be willing to hear somebody else out for without picking apart the flaws and cracks and things kind of within it, where I feel like we get a different end of it. We get the perfected version of almost what you would likely want to see in regards to having like this discussion between two people who just don't agree really at all on a lot of levels. Actually, I'll put a hold on that for a second. Do believe a lot of the same sort of things on similar levels. They begin the entire conversation with bonding over this hatred and dislike and just not being in agreement with the Orthodoxy Church, right? They are so against this, they're able to bond over the disagreements that they have, to the point that they find the agreements within that to then leads more down the line, and then you're like, wait, maybe we're not as similar, maybe we're not on the same page as we actually thought. So we are able to, find a connection on some sort of level, but even then, they're just expressing their own general beliefs. They're not sitting here in a debate sort of thing or a discussion of trying to get somebody else on board with them. Instead, they're just like, this is what I believe. This is why I believe this. This is how I just feel and the type of routine and the things I do, with us being able to see Schmidt get up and out of the carriage at the sunrise each morning, right? These are own little like quirks and unique things that we feel and believe. You don't have to. That's fine. We can sit here and I can hear you out and be like, interesting take, but I'm not going to kind of follow that, but interesting. And I will listen to that. And I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong. And I'm not going to preach to you that you are, the devil for believing in this sort of thing. It's nice to not have to see somebody get burned at the stake for just being in disagreement with someone for once, and having this progression that we've openly been able to see from how closed off and how scary it was for any sort of person to have a disagreement at the beginning of the series to where we are now. Time skipping helps with that, absolutely does, but it's a nice little way to see that progression throughout. And even the general conversation that they get, which is the best way for them to kind of approach this, is to be on the polar opposite end of where the church is at, which is exactly as I kind of talked about when Schmidt was first introduced. You essentially have to take these people who have a strong belief and stance that is damn near on the complete opposite side to be able to find that center ground. And you're not going to find it through a compromise within talking to each other. That just doesn't happen. But whatever it is, whatever altercation and thing needs to come out for that to be the case, it'll be easier to find that center ground where people are still able to pick and choose things from each end and each side to lie a little bit more flat in the middle and create what we're actually trying to find, a more peaceful, centered verse. So overall, really cool. I like how that they're all able to at least acknowledge and understand that, still have their own beliefs and feelings too, and not want to waver at that either, and just be willing to listen to somebody. Although they were like, yeah, conversation's not really needed between us, but that's not the thing. It definitely is. The whole beginning's fun here. Having them come and save her, I think, felt a little predictable. I think that's basically what I said was going to come up, or at least they were going to capture her fully and then they were going to come through and get her. But that's not really a issue at all. Same thing about like Yolenta appearing towards the end. I was trying to convince myself and hold out hope almost that we had like a Novak full-on transformation and just like this old soul was alive and just directing other people to do these things that he couldn't. Ends up being her, which I think was more of the guest route for us to kind of follow down, but still not bad things. I think narratively will lead us in probably a stronger position, continuously following the more predictable routes. But I think that this was, in general, really fun to have somebody like Antoni not just come in and not just take her for other sort of purposes and actually use her for her knowledge and pick her brain a little bit. I think that's really cool of him. Not something I was expecting because he's like the biggest piece of shit, but like pretty cool that we were able to get that, have these open discussions, have this self-awareness of him almost that they're headed on like a rough path and knows it needs to be corrected and isn't sure of exactly how it should. And willing to ask those from the outside who don't have any belief or connection alongside us of what that issue potentially is, I think is nice, and wanting to bring her even with him here, what they would have done, and if it would have just followed the initial assumption. Afterwards, after full like capture basically of her, I guess remains to be seen, and won't ever be seen, but still, I think was a little bit of a cooler direction than I was fully expecting. I thought that this conversation was going to be pretty short and quick here. Happy they came in and saved the day, though. A little unfortunate they didn't get Antoni. That motherfucker deserves to be dead, but is what it is. We end up keeping her alive. The old man here, it's an interesting thing with her because you can clearly see that she does have a little bit of emotion towards it. Like, fuck, you did just kill somebody close to me, but it's that struggle that she's still having. Like, this dude just sold me out and tried to do away with me completely because of his conviction. So it's like, how much should I be feeling sad right now? Like, how should I be reacting in this sort of thing? And I'm assuming flashbacks directly with her father and everything else too. I don't know, type of feeling that she must be going through is really interesting. Super heads up and smart play to just burn up the book and be like, I have to be the one that you have to take alongside, because if you don't, what do you have for you? You were sent out on this mission and you're not going to be able to do anything with it, right? Super smart thing. Could have just used your words maybe and convinced them, but they definitely seemed pretty set on the fact that they didn't want to take you. But maybe you could have bonded like you did as soon as you got in the wagon about like, hey, I don't fuck with these guys either. Let me come along with you. Like, maybe you could have sold them on just that. But it works. It works selling it out or burning it up here. And then we have a good conversation. It's really fun. I like the little moments of him just being like, hold on, let me get this straight. And then just repeating things that she's basically saying. She's like, I just said that. Like, what do you... It was super funny all the way throughout, and it's good talks from each end. I don't particularly want to dive into, I guess, the overall mindset of either of them because of the continuous evolution and things that are going to occur throughout the rest of the and remainder of the series. And also being on like complete ends of viewpoints that I don't necessarily agree with myself either. So I'm not sure how much the discussion would do for me. It would definitely be interesting, and it was a really fascinating watch, but not too much I want to add on to it. And I love this, like the polar opposites between the two, just bathing in the sun early morning and his feelings and what it means to him in comparison to the agony that she has to go through, and the recalling of memories from her father's death and everything too. I think it's pretty dope. Even if I die, I'll never get it. So go ahead and fucking die. Like, wait, what a guy. All aware of the 3 big inventions, the printing press, right? It's pretty cool. I honestly don't know what was in my head. I thought that this was like a way further in the future invention. So the fact that we're getting it now, I mean, I guess tracks enough with our general idea for the reproduction of this book and trying to make money. And it works on their end of trying to spread new word and put challenge and opposition potentially to the church. So this will be good for both ends involved. And it works perfectly for her quicker production. So I'm all on boards with it. Curious to see how they go about, figuring all this stuff out and obtaining whatever it is that they need to. And how this works, too, in regards to them making money. I still don't fully understand. Like, I guess they can sell the book and it'll be in their name. I wonder if, because it's burned up, if we're still going to throw in the Patotsky getting the 10%. There she remembers that part still. Leader's got a plan. I started questioning. I'm not even going to lie. At this point, I started questioning if he was just talking about himself as the leader and just never told anybody who the leader was. But look, he decided to come back. Older version of herself. I'm excited to see what she's been up to over the years, how she feels. It fully explains why they were asking about Oxy and Videni, right? Where you get these names from? Well, the leader fucking told us. That's why. Of course, there's a relation or a connection in some way to them. It's fun. We will see soon what exactly all this leads us to. I'm very excited to catch back up with Yolanta and see what's going on with her, and maybe an insight into where the fuck Novak's been, if she's even seen him over all these years, if he just died off screen. I find that hard to believe. I feel like he's got to be an old man. He's got to be on screen. There's no way that they're going to do that to us. But I guess we'll wait it out and say, hopefully you enjoyed. If you liked it all, like and subscribe. That's my feel free to check even the channel. If comments to the series, I'll be back for episode 19 very soon, which is a great one though.